It's your girl, Lady Mocha. And you know I'm going to always pour you a cup of truth, and I'm going to always break you off with a slice of knowledge. Good morning. Good morning. What's up, everybody? It is your girl, your diva in knowledge, Lady Mocha here at Mocha's Cafe de Paris. Definitely had to start off this recipe, this content this morning, and give a shout out to my recent donators. I'm going to see if I'm going to pull everybody's name up because I don't want to miss anybody. Just 1 second. I should have had this already ready before I started this video. But it just kind of dawned on me. I definitely felt that it was imperative that I gave a shout out to everyone who has been donating to Mocha's Cafe de Paris. I know there's so many bloggers on YouTube, and it's always people, you know, that's always looking for help, always looking for people to donate to their channel. So, you know, trust and believe, I take it very seriously. I take it to heart when anybody donates to my channel. It doesn't matter the amount. It doesn't matter if how frequently they do it, even if they donate once in a blue moon. I definitely don't take my blessings for granted. Due to the fact that people don't have to. No one is obligated to do anything. So when somebody does send me something, I definitely don't take it for granted. I appreciate it. I don't care if it's $2, a dollar. Every little bit helps. And the fact that, you know, people are taking the time out and people are taking money out of their account to put into my channel is a big deal, because that's just not something that everybody's going to do. So again, I want to thank everybody who's been donating. also those of you who want to donate and just haven't been able to, I still appreciate you as well, just for stopping by, giving me positive energy, positive feedback. Giving time is just as valuable as money. So again, I want to thank all of you for looking out for your girl and supporting my channel. I really, really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. So I'm gonna give a big ups to, let's see, my freaking phone just went out. Yes, Dondra Lawson. I want to thank you, ma'am. I appreciate you for your donation. I thank you for investing into my channel. Thank you. Thank you to Detorian Pla Play. I hope I'm saying it right. PLA Detorian. You've always rocked with me just like Dondra. Both of y'all have been my regulars. Y'all have been my day ones. Y'all have been rocking with me from the beginning. Y'all have been one of many loyal subscribers. I want to thank the both of you for really looking out for me and donating to my channel. And I'm sure it's probably been many, and sometimes the name does not show up. So if I do not mention your name on this PayPal, it's not that I'm not acknowledging you, but I'm looking through my phone and it has half of the other names chopped off, but those are the only two I see visible as of right now. And also to Wake the Hell Up, who's always forever donating to my channel. He's been donating like forever. Also, Detorian is also one of my moderators, which I like to call Mocha Security. He's one of my guys that he moderates my channel. Anybody acts up or gets out of pocket, he has no problem evicting them. Some of you, don't be surprised if you find any wrenches near your name. As a matter of fact, today I'm going to add some more moderators onto my channel because I think it is needed. So if you find a wrench near your name, you're going to basically be my security personnel. Anybody that gets out of pocket, you will have the authority to evict them. But we'll talk about that at another time because I also want to go into when it's necessary to give somebody the eviction notice and when it's not. You know what I mean? Because I don't want people getting evicted just because they have a different opinion or whatever the case is. But we'll talk about that another time. As I promised all of you, I was going to do a 3-part series. For my content for this recipe, no respect for sex. I already uploaded the series part 1. But today's Friday, so that was Wednesday, I believe, when I uploaded that. So if you don't want to fall behind and you want to keep up with these series, you might want to check out part 1 because it flows into part 2, which is the part I'm going to do this morning as promised, because I never let my subscribers down. If I say I'm going to deliver or do something, that's exactly what I'm going to do. So on that note, again, I want to thank everybody. I want to thank all of my day one subscribers who've been rocking with me from the beginning. I want to thank all of my new subscribers that have just jumped on board, that have just subbed. Welcome to Mocha's Cafe de Paris family. This is going to be probably one of many YouTube channels that is very non-biased. I ride the guys, I ride the ladies, and I get on everybody. This is not a feminist channel, and this is not a male chauvinistic channel, because I believe all of us need help in some form or another. All of us need to progress in certain areas in our life, okay? So trust and believe you are in good hands here at Mocha's Cafe de Paris. All right, so moving right along, because I know I have dragged on enough. We're going to go right on to today's recipe, today's content. Again, I'm your girl, Lady Mocha, your diva in knowledge. I am the originator. I am the hostess of this channel, Mocha's Cafe de Paris. All right. So the last time I did my content, when I did my part 1 for No Respect for Sex, we left off at unplanned pregnancies. Okay. And as I stated, when this happens, when we put ourselves in situations, ladies and gentlemen, and we don't use protection, we don't take the proper precautions, we're negligent, we don't use our wisdom, we don't use our knowledge, we allow lust to overrule our common sense, we allow our hormones to pretty much control us instead of us controlling it. This is what happens. We end up with unplanned pregnancies, what I consider Side babies are also booby trap babies. And the reason why I call them booby trap babies, because let's face it, there are some women out here that could be very conniving. It could be very malicious. And it's a lot of women who will intentionally not take the proper precautions to protect themselves from becoming pregnant. And in many cases, some of them don't intend to protect themselves, and they have their own agendas. They have their own malicious motives behind what they do, and behind their purpose for conceiving children from men who they know really don't care about them, or from men who they know are already in relationships, so they're just using them to get what they want out of them. And it's sad that we're in 2018 and all of these women, so many women that are vlogging. We have sisters like Saharzad Ali. I hope I'm not butchering her name, but it's a lot of genuine sisters out here that are schooling a lot of us black women to the game. They're schooling us to the game, and the problem is a lot of us, we want to stay ignorant, we want to stay uneducated, we want to stay stuck in believing our way of things, and because that's what suits us, that's what makes us comfortable. It's a lot of us, it's a lot of black women, a lot of us, we just have a problem with accepting truth, especially if it's going to, even if it's going to benefit us in the long run. And that's the reason why a lot of us really can't progress, we really can't get ahead, because we want to constantly justify our actions, or if we're not justifying them, we want to place blame, meaning that many women who put themselves in a situation, the first thing they want to say is, well, the guy wasn't honest with me. And in some cases, that is very true. Some men will sit up here and deceive you and manipulate you and tell you, hey, I'm not in a relationship, I'm not married, or they famous line, we're separated, we're having problems right now. So I got to hold my guys accountable too. Guys, if you out there, you in a relationship, this is just a chick you want to bang here and there. Don't make her promises. Don't make her believe that you plan on leaving who you're with, or you're by yourself. You put all the cards on the table. That way, whatever she got to deal with, she know that came with the territory. But apparently, like I stated, the issue is, a lot of us sisters, they want to place blame, and the first thing they say is, he was not honest with me. He made it seem like he was separated. He made it seem like he was leaving his relationship. And the thing about it is, like I stated, I know that's true. You got some brothers out there that can be just as manipulative and conniving as women to get what they want. I get it. But at the same time, as women, as I stated before, we're emotional creatures, and the problem is, because we base feelings more so from an emotional standpoint versus a logical standpoint. A lot of us put ourselves in a position to be played, meaning that a woman can see all the signs that a dude is playing her, that a dude is not being genuine, and again, if she allows um her emotions to get the best of her, she will overlook all of the signs, all of the red flags that are right there in her face. For instance, as we stated, we've heard this many times. Well, I didn't know he was married. Well, he told me he was separated. He made it seem like he was going to leave her. We women say this all the time, but again, you always go by, like I always state to people, actions speak louder than words. You can sit up here and promise me moon and stars all day, but when I see you're presenting the opposite of everything that you're telling me, then it's on me at that point. If I decide to keep entertaining you, if I decide to keep dealing with you, for instance, if it's been many instances in which a woman has dealt with a man, or been, kicking it with a dude for a while or whatever, and as a woman, you have to have what's called intuition, common sense. But what happens is, when a woman gets to a desperate point, when she wants a relationship so bad, or she really wants a man, or she's really feeling this guy, she will neglect all her common sense. She will throw it out the door, because again, it's all about trying to get in the good graces of this man, trying to get this man to see that she's the woman that he needs to be with, that she's has all the potentials and credentials to possibly his wife or his main chick, or a woman he could commit to for a lifetime. So when women allow desperation to set in, they will overlook a lot of things. For as instance, like I said, it's women who deal with guys and know just the little things you got to pay attention to. It's not the big stuff, it's the little things. A man never brings you around his family. He never brings you around people that are important to him. None of his friends have never met you. I mean, his people haven't met you. I mean, all things of that nature. It's the little things that you have to pay attention to. But again, because you're so emotional and you so badly want to be kept, because you have a lot of women out there that are tired of being had, they want to be kept. That are tired of being used. They tired of these Negroes renting renting the thought pocket. They want somebody to purchase the thought pocket. They want somebody to take ownership. And what happens is, like anything else, if you can keep driving a car and not have to pay a note, guess what? You're not interested in buying it. Same thing. It's a lot of these women, they stay in denial. Um, with these theories of what I didn't know, he deceived me. A lot of times as women, we deceive ourselves. We really, really do. We see all the signs, we saw the red flags, but what it is, because we did not protect ourselves, or we ignored that intuition, that voice of reason. It's too painful to take accountability for it and say, you know what? I was the dumb one. I should have known better. This guy was only coming by to see me certain time of night. I mean, or let's say if he was staying with you, but he wasn't. Y'all agreed to move in together, whatever. But he wasn't trying to commit to you. He was just staying with you. Because some women get stuff like that confused. Some women think because a man move in with them or stay with them that man wants them, when really he just wants a place to stay, or he just needs a break from whatever the hell he's going through. And right now, you're just as blanket. You're just as comfort. There's a lot of side chicks out here that are real, like, not understanding that. Y'all are just blankets right now. Y'all are just being used to comfort a man at whatever he's going through for that specific moment in time. But if you are emotional and if you are desperate, you will gravitate towards whatever man offers you, and you will think that he has genuine intentions behind it, when really he's just using you as a blanket till he gets to where he needs to be. So basically, it's a lot of women that use all kind of excuses, like they didn't know, but all the signs were there. He's not answering his phone in front of you. I mean, he's not really taking you to many public places. Or let's say if he do take you to a public place, but it's way in another damn county somewhere, it's out of town somewhere. I mean, come on. I mean, women, we in 2018. Let's not fall for the I didn't know he was married. I didn't know. He told me he was separated. Come on. I mean, any woman in 2018 are still falling for that fracking bull. You deserve exactly what you get. Especially if you over 35 years old. Them young girls that's 22, 23, they're young in the game. They still wet behind the ears. I can get them a pass. Once you over 30, I can't give you no pass. It's stupidity. But let's go further into this unplanned pregnancy. Let's see. Um, let's talk more about these booby trap babies, these side chicks with these side babies. Now, let me start off. I know this is going to be a very strong content for women and men that are in the situation, but it's more common than many people think. And as I stated before in the last series I did, if sex isn't treated with respect and utilized the way God had intended it, expect to have problems. Now, this content that I'm doing today, I know a lot of side chicks are going to get offended. And I'm okay with that, because the truth hurts. Nobody likes to be exposed. Nobody likes to be called out, because, pain, I mean, truth is painful. Because in many instances, once truth, the reality of truth sets in, and you realize the situation you done got yourself into, you realize you can't go back and change it. You can't reverse it, which makes it even more difficult, which makes it even more painful. But what a lot of women and men in a lot of cases don't understand, that sometimes if you are truthful to you, that is the moment you set yourself free. A lot of us are in bondage, especially us ladies. A lot of us are in bondage, and the reason why we can't get ahead and we stay stuck in anger and hostility is because we won't take accountability for how we ended up in a situation to begin with. We automatically look for someone to blame other than ourselves. And women, we are strong candidates of doing this. And yes, I'm writing to women because I know I'm one. And one thing about women, we're not going to receive it either way. If another black man is telling you if another black man is telling you, you're too emotional, you overreact, you're going to get offended. If another black woman tells you you overly emotional, um, 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 you allow your desperation to make you overly emotional, you're still gonna get offended. If a white woman tells you the same thing, you definitely gonna get offended. When black women, we have this offensive filter. We're just gonna always get offended. It don't matter if somebody says it to us nicely. It don't matter if somebody says it to us respectfully. It don't matter if somebody's telling us from a good place. We still gonna feel some type of way. Because what happens is when you know you have made a poor decision and you've made a poor choice and you stuck to have to live with that poor decision or that poor choice you made, it's very it's very disheartening. It's disheartening when you know you made a choice that you stuck to have to live with. You know, reality is very painful. It is. But the good thing about pain is what helps you grow. Pain is what makes you more mature. A lot of the things that we learn through painful experiences. We don't learn through good experiences. If you really think about it, everything you have learned has been through pain. Pain is your best friend. Thank God for it, because pain keeps you in check. Once you've been stung or burnt a certain way, you're not going to run back out there and make that same decision. If you got any sense, you wouldn't. If you do, then it's called stupidity, or you may need medication. But let me go ahead and move on. Let's talk more about these booby trap babies. Um, Realize we have two different issues going on here: fornication and adultery. And these are two ways in which sex isn't respected. Now let's talk about this fornicating thing, because a lot of people that fornicate think they get a pass due to the fact that they are not, neither one of them are married. So people who fornicate, which is usually single people, to unmarried people or having sexual relations, many think that fornication isn't as bad as adultery because no one is married. But the problem is, even if you, like I said, even if you don't know a person's married or didn't know a person in a relationship, the problem is you're still in the wrong because you're fornicating. You're basically having sex with someone that is not your husband, that is not your wife. Yes, I'm going to get church on y'all up in here. So you can go ahead and pass around a collection plate, or you could exit the building to your local nearest parking lot. Because that's the problem. We want to ignore the word, and we want to ignore what the word represents. Like I stated in the last series, we want the word to protect our world. Whatever world we living in, we want the word to fit that. We want the word to fit our world. If you out here whoring, you out here messing with men, whether if they're married or not, you don't want to be ridiculed for it. And then we're quick to say, well, don't judge me. I don't like to be judged. But guess what? The Bible also say you judge the fruit by it bear. You judge a tree by the fruit that it bears. And as much as we like to call out not being judged, let me tell you something. You're not going to live in this world without being judged. You're going to be judged on the daily basis. What do you think judged is when the moment you go to a job interview and you got this person interviewing you? They're judging you. They're sizing you up. They're asking you questions. They're looking at how you dress. They're looking at how you talk. They're looking at your whole demeanor, your whole character to decide if you would be the right candidate for their company. So we can go on with all the don't judge me theories because as black women we're so quick to want to throw that out there. Don't judge me. I made my mistakes. I live and I learn, and that's very true. But guess what? Your past and decisions you have made, that speaks volumes for your character. Now, this isn't to say that you can't change, you can't better yourself, but people respect you more when you don't always throw the don't judge me versus you state, I've made my share of mistakes and I'm learning to grow and I'm learning to better myself. That's better than saying I don't need anybody to judge me, because when you make statements like that, it's like you're trying to defend your poor choices and your poor actions. And because you don't want to face it, you throw the don't judge me. Stop it. Why are you so judgmental? We all are judged. Every day, all day. Long as you live in this world, to the day you die, you're going to be judged. And guess what? Even when you die, you're still going to be judged. People are going to talk about you then. Soon as they leave your funeral, they're going to still judge you and talk about you. Girl, remember when she was so-and-so back in the day? I mean, come on. And some things, some mistakes we make are branded for life. Certain things you do, people will always remember you for that, even if you do try to make good. You know what I mean? So if you have really changed, if you are really trying to better yourself as a woman or as a man, you're not going to allow people's beliefs about you based on your past. You're not going to allow it to affect you. Because the last thing you want to do is prove to people that you are still the way they perceive you. I can never understand that with us as black women. You know, we don't want people thinking the worst of us, but we will respond in a manner that gets people to think that. Like I've been in these situations where, you know, I've been cool with other, you know, black women as far as friends and stuff, you know, and you know, they'll tell me, you know, people always judge me, people always thinking the worst of me, and you know, people want to throw shade and bring up my past, but a lot of it has to do with is the stuff that you're doing in your present. If you're doing anything similar to what you used to do in your past, you still got a bitchy attitude, you still being promiscuous, whatever issues you had in your past, if you have not abandoned those issues in your present, people are still going to look at your past. Especially if you more mean, if you're more mean and nasty and biggity, you make people want to poke at you as a bear. When you get to the point where you start smelling yourself, it's the difference between changing for the better, and then it's another thing where uh you feel the need to have to be on beast mode because you feel the need to have to always defend yourself. When you have that type of attitude, you make people want to throw up your past in your face. People can't see the new you if you still presenting yourself with them same old nasty, mean, hellish beast mode ways. And let's face it, a lot of us as black women, we could be beastie, you know. And that's just something we all have to individually work on within ourselves. It's a daily struggle for me. I have to learn sometimes that um to pull away from always having to be a beast. It's a constant work. It's a constant progress. I won't lie to you and say it's easy. At times I slip and I have to catch myself and say, okay, Mocha, you was out of pocket on that, you was out of line on that. But it's not many women that's gonna do that. You got some women that's gonna justify. Well, you made me mad. You made me go off. No, you make yourself go off because you know how to contain yourself. If you're working on a job, you're working somewhere, guess what? If you want to keep that job, you're not going to talk to them customers nasty. I don't care how much they get out of pocket with you. So we know how to contain ourselves. It's just the fact that we do it when we want to and who we feel like doing it with. But you do know how to discipline and contain yourself. But anyhow, let me get back into the issue at hand. Again, we'll talk about this fornicating. Single people, you are not exempt. If you're not married and you're having casual sex, guess what? You're not respecting sex and you're not respecting what it's designed for. Bottom line. Now let's get into this adultery. Adultery. Now, this is definitely a very big problem within today's society. As often as we watch these ID discovery channels, you turn on your local news, any article you read, in the newspaper, on social media, people constantly doing videos on YouTube about it. I myself have done it. People not still don't get how dangerous committing adultery is. You know, in a sense, adultery could go two ways. You got two married people that are having sexual relations with each other. The man is married and the woman is married, and both of them think because both of them are married, they both agreed to they both share the same mutual disrespect as far as disrespecting their companions. They both don't see neither one of them see nothing wrong with their actions when the bottom line is you're committing adultery. I don't care if that man is married just like you are a married wife. I don't care if that woman is married just like you or somebody else's husband. The bottom line is you're committing adultery. If both of you are married, you're committing adultery. It's as simple as that because you both have spouses. You both are in a committed relationship. You both have made vows before God. Adultery. Now, the other type of adultery is when one person was married. Rather, if it's that man who is married and messing with this side chick and entertaining the side chick, he's committing adultery. If she's a woman and she's married and she's dealing with a dude that's single and she's having relations with him, she's committing adultery. And and I know a lot of people, of course, we want to go in the new ways of the world. We want to fit in with today's today's trends. But trends is what has a lot of people screwed up. Instead of people respecting tradition versus trends, we wouldn't have the problems we had. Traditionally, and biblically, because when we talk about tradition, we talk about religion in a sense. That was not acceptable. It was not acceptable for a married man to be messing with another woman or a married woman to be messing with another man. That was not acceptable. But we're in society where now we have this trend because what's starting to happen is um, we're celebrating and tolerating all of this sin and all of this wrongdoing. We're straying more and more away from the world, and we're consuming more. We're straying away from the word, and we're consuming too much of the world. And when you start consuming too much of the world, you will start adopting worldly views to where you won't see nothing wrong with what you're doing because guess what? Everybody else is doing it. The world is doing it. As a woman, you'll make excuses because you see men doing it. Oh, well, they've been screwing for years. They've been sleeping around for years, and nobody saw nothing wrong with it. I'm a woman. I got the same rights as a man. And then you have some men who got this egotistical attitude. Well, I'm a man. That's what men do. That's what men. That's what we're known to do. We're known to be hunters. It's this egotistical male macho attitude where I'm allowed to screw and sleep with as many women as I want and still be considered a hero. And if a woman does it, she's a zero. And the truth of the matter is, both of y'all are goddamn zeros. Both of y'all are. But the bad part is it does reflect more on a woman, and that's the bottom line. A man would never catch as much heat as a woman does. A woman that's promiscuous, if you're going around here laying with every Tom, Dick, and Daryl, you're not going to get a pass compared to a man that sleep with every Kim, Keisha, and Kiki. It's just not going to happen. You cannot do what a man can do. But either way, the problem is, whether if you're a man or you're a woman, the moment you lose respect for sex and you feel like you can sleep with whoever you want to sleep with, that is when you open the door to the enemy. And this is the reason why we have problems with these unplanned pregnancies and stuff. Now let's more go into this. When it comes to sexual intercourse, it is both a man and a woman's responsibility. Women use birth control, men use condoms. There's, like I stated before, if a woman, I'll tell y'all like this: if a woman is pregnant, it's because she wants to be. Bottom line, I can't. Let me tell y'all what really rubs me wrong. When a woman says, when a woman ends up pregnant and she says, it just happened. That is the most lamest, immature, dumb, donkey thing a woman could say out her mouth when she ends up pregnant. It just happened. How the hell it just happened? What? Y'all both was coming out of the bathroom and he slipped on a piece of soap and he just landed inside you? Come on. Same thing with you, man. It just happened. That ignorant, justifiable way of thinking is the reason why a lot of y'all in a situation y'all in today. This is why a lot of you women out here are raising children by yourselves. And you're not really getting any cooperation from these men. And a lot of it has to do with you didn't protect yourself as a woman. And in many cases, many of us as women, y'all intentionally don't protect yourselves. You want to get pregnant because you get to a desperate stage to where you really want this man to be with you. You really want him in your life. You are willing to take a chance and not protect yourself and hope when the baby gets here, he has a change of heart. To only find out you're a single mother and you that got to run him down for child support and all this and that. Because the truth of the matter is, unless a man or a woman has sat down and both of y'all have agreed that this is what we both want, I'm not talking about y'all both agreed to sex. That's another thing. I'm talking about y'all both agreed to, if we do this and we have a child, we're going to be together. If that man tells you, if you ever get pregnant, I'm going to be here for you. I'm going to commit to you or whatever. If that was not established from the beginning, you lay down with him as a single woman, expect to be a single mother. If he wasn't already married to you before you laid him down, 9 times out of 10, you're going to be single when you get up. But what happens is, it's not just men who let their hormones get the best of them. It's not just men who are thinking with the wrong head. You women, us as women, we get caught up in the heat of the moment. You pull your panties down and you don't give it a second thought that, does this dude really want to be with me? Has he shown me that that he's worth me leaving myself open to him? Has he shown me that if I were to get pregnant, I could depend on him? A lot of us women, we get just what we ask for because the majority of the time, half of these dudes not even committed to you as a boyfriend, and you think once you get pregnant, he's going to be committed to you as a child's father. Like, come on. He wasn't even a good boyfriend. You couldn't depend on him for the little things. You couldn't depend on him to call you back. You couldn't depend on him to come around when he said he's gonna come around. Now you think because you pregnant, that's gonna make him ship up and straighten up, and now he's gonna be this newfound man and get this revelation that I need to be a good father now? No. If y'all wasn't already connecting, just relationship wise, you're not going to connect just because y'all have a child together. What a lot of women are not understanding is the reason why a lot of y'all are cheated as single mothers is due to the fact that there was no connection prior, before that child was conceived. Y'all had no real connection. And I'm not talking about connection as in we were living together, we were going out. That's no connection. Y'all was just dating or going out. You can date and be together and not even connect. I'm talking about connecting as in y'all got a mutual understanding that we both want to be together. There's no doubts. There's no, well, I'm not sure. I'm trying to figure out what I want to do. Y'all have already established from the get-go it's going to be me, you. That's it from there. A lot of y'all women, y'all set yourselves up to be played because y'all let these dudes straddle the fence with y'all. They sit up here and lie, oh, we separated. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do. All it is to keep installing you. Is to keep stalling you. And before you know it, you done entertain him so long and you've been messing with him for so long, you end up pregnant. You get more and more and more comfortable to where you let your guard down. And that's how you slip and you get pregnant. Let's go on to talking about these side chicks and these side babies, because uh, a lot of you side chicks are just way too confident with y'all dirt. And what's starting to happen is a lot of y'all are being buried up under the same dirt that y'all have thrown out there. It's too many side chicks that are proud of their lack of discretion. And again, you men, y'all have to take accountability for it also, because as y'all already know, I said this before, these side chicks are on a whole nother level. It's all about exposure. These women, they don't keep quiet. They don't know how to stay in a side chick's place. These side chicks eventually end up catching main chick feelings and want main chick privileges. In the beginning, she may initially start off and act like she understand and she don't mind being in the background, but eventually she wants you to bring her to the forefront. And the moment you don't bring her to the forefront, she will bring your ass to the front. She'll expose you on her YouTube. She'll expose you on her Instagram, her Facebook, expose you to your wife. I did a topic not too long ago about the female Kiana, whatever her name was, the one who, the mistress who shot her boyfriend, supposedly married boyfriend, who wasn't officially divorced, in his torso, because he wouldn't sign his divorce papers after she done divorced her husband, because both of them was committing adultery. Both of them were married. And you side chicks, y'all definitely put yourself in the worst predicament, because at least even with women out who can admit adultery, y'all don't even have nobody to fall back on, which is still wrong, period. Once you have a companion, I'm not justifying people who got adultery, who commit adultery off the hook, because they're not. But it's even worse if you are single, because if this man says, you know what, I realize I want to go be with my wife, I want to work things out, you the one left on the end by yourself. You have nothing to lean on. You have nothing to fall back on. He does. And the same thing for you men. You're dealing with a married woman. Things go left or whatever, she got somebody to lean on until her husband gets to the point, you know what, I'm done, until he's done with her. Then she's by herself. But eventually, men take a licking and keep on ticking. It's the women who can't handle rejection at all. A lot of y'all will entertain and mess with these men who are married, or who is still dealing with somebody, even though they're telling you we're separated, we're not together. Y'all take a chance, and y'all entertain these dudes, and then when these men have pimped you and got you for all of what they needed to get you for, and they no longer have a purpose for you, and they throw you away, especially if they get you pregnant, or I say you get yourself pregnant, because then can't no man get you pregnant if you took the proper precautions. Now you want to throw shade. Now you want to expose this brother, when really you played yourself from the beginning. Because any woman that really values herself, or has any self-confidence, she's not about to put herself in a position to where she's a man's side chick. She's going to be his only chick. You don't get no brownie points for being an appetizer. That doesn't make you more of a woman than the wife at home. Because what a lot of you side chicks are not understanding is, if that man was to die, something happened to him today, who you think gonna end up with everything? His wife. His wife gonna end up with the house, the cars, the money. And the only thing you gonna be left with is a soul back from all the times he had you laying on it. Side chicks are not winning. That's a myth. How are you winning when he's done with you? He goes home to her. He still has a home to go home to. He still has a family to go home to. How many times you want to keep being his blanket? Just something to comfort him in his time of need. And when he's done, he's going back home being a husband, mowing the lawn, taking the wife on trips, taking the kids on trips, spending Christmas holidays, anniversaries, and you like a client, you got to wait to schedule your appointment. Because the way he looks at it is you already had an idea I was with somebody. Even if I lied and told you I'm separated, whatever, you already knew I had some type of ties to somebody. So you can't expect me to be 100% obligated to you. I get to you when I want to get to you, when I can get to you, because I already had a prior obligation, which is my wife and my family. So you can't expect but so much out of me. And what makes matters worse to the situation is when you get pregnant by these married men. And I'm gonna definitely do another third series. I'm gonna do a third series on this. It's a lot of you, these side chicks with these side babies, which are illegitimate bastard children. Now you could get offended and feel some type of way, because I know when it comes to children, we're not supposed to use those words, because a child is a blessing. No matter what, a child is a blessing. Yeah, but guess what? Blessings could come through curses too. Do you understand that? It's not a blessing if this man was married to somebody or if he had a family. That's not a blessing. That's a curse. Now, you can lie to yourself and tell yourself that. I know I'm stepping on some toes. Truth is painful. Like medicine is nasty, but it's good for you. You sit up here and you leave yourselves open and you get pregnant by these married men or these men who you know still in the relationship. That's your fault. Because there's too much stuff on the market for a woman to get pregnant. Any woman that's pregnant is because she wanted to be, unless she was raped. If she was raped, that's a whole nother story, because she had no control over that. But if you was a willing consent, then you knew what you were signing up for. You took a chance, and you can lie and tell anybody else on the outside, but you knew exactly what you were doing, and you knew why you were doing it. A lot of times you try to trap these men, you trap yourself. And then you want to cry and give sob stories. I'm a single mom. If you're not crying about your sob stories being a single mom, you're trying to boost your ego up. You acting like you're proud to be one. And I'm not knocking all single mothers. If this does not apply, you don't have to reply. You know your situation. You know if you knew that man was committed to somebody, and you knew if the man really deceived you. If he really, really deceived you and you just had no clue at all another woman was involved, then I can't knock you. Because some men are professional liars. Like, you got some women that are professional liars. They know how to really cover their goddamn tracks, and to where you won't suspect a thing. So if you're one of those women, I sympathize with you. If you just really didn't know nothing, there was like no indication of a woman at all. But for the rest of you who fell for the we separated and all, nah, no. You believe that because you wanted to believe it. Because you knew you wanted him like that anyway. So all you was looking for was some type of confirmation and justification, so you can give yourself the green light to do what you do. And now that the results then came back to backfire, you want sympathy and empathy. You gets none from here. And that's exactly what I'm going to say. Now, you produce a child from these men, and your child gets cheated out of a lot. Your child gets cheated due to the fact that this man, if he was already married or he was committed, he can't really accept that child on the terms that you would want him to. It's not going to happen. Because at the end of the day, his obligation is more so to who he was with than before he met you. Now, I get what the women are going to say. Cause I heard all of the different side chick myths. So let's go into these side chicks myths. Because I know a lot of them are going to get in their feelings when they hear this content. I know the side chicks are going to thumbs down this content today, because I'm stepping on some toes, and I get it. The main thing a lot of side chicks will say is, if he was happy with her, he wouldn't have been with me. First of all, you blaming this other woman and you don't even know her. You don't know what all she's had to do, what all she had to deal with, and what all she had to go through before you brought your promiscuous Jezebel ass in the picture. How dare you, as another woman, knock another woman? One thing about women, I don't care how much we don't like each other, how much we don't get along, we all could relate to pain. That's something all black women, white women, we all have in common. So for you to sit up here and judge another woman, if she was doing her job, he wouldn't be with me. Well, if you was doing your job with the right man, you wouldn't have to mess with her husband. It go both ways. What is it about you where you can't get a guy who wants to be with you without already having some type of commitment to someone else? Why you don't look at it that way? Why we want to sit up here and talk about what the wife ain't doing at home? Evidently, he sees something. He married this woman. Out of all the women he wanted to marry, he married her. He committed to her. He put the ring on her finger. He brought that home for her. He brought those cars for her. He had those children with her. So if you mad at somebody, you don't need to be throwing shade at his wife. Now you might need to throw some shade at him. Because is he wrong? Yes. And I tell all the guys this over and over and over. You know you got a wife at home. You know you got a family. Don't mess with these side chicks. But a lot of you side chicks, y'all know better. And y'all take a chance and you want to cry wolf. You want to give all these sob stories. I'm a single mother. I got to do this on my own. He ain't helping me. You knew he wasn't going to be limited in helping you. He already had a family. Let me tell you something. When you have children from married men, you cheat your child from the beginning. And this content is going to be a little longer than usual. It's already 48. You cheat your child from the beginning. Because that child is never going to have the same privileges as the children he has in his home with his wife does. Your child is going to come last. Whenever you have a child, it's kind of like this. If you look at like a loaf of bread, if you are a woman dealing with a married man, had a child from a married man, and all he has is one loaf of bread, guess what? His wife going to get the majority of that bread, his children, and you and your son or daughter, your illegitimate child, y'all might get one slice that's left over out the loaf. And the slice you get is going to be the end. And we know nobody likes the end of the bread. Everybody never even touches the end of the bread. You cheat your child. Because that child is not going to be accepted. If you think this woman is going to accept your child that you have from her husband, you got another thing coming. Now, there has been some women who do accept it because they feel like it's not the child's fault. And it's not the child's fault. It is your fault as a grown woman screwing with this married man, and it's the married man's fault knowing he was married and committed to somebody. Both of y'all are responsible for how this child got here. But guess what? The child is still going to suffer regardless, because that child is not going to never really be too welcome unless that wife has the strength in her heart. If she's really gracious enough to say, you know what, my husband messed up, he was wrong, but guess what? I'm not going to allow this child to get affected by his actions. But the majority of the time, that doesn't happen. You have women who say, oh, hell no. That child would never be accepted. That child would never be acknowledged. And that's usually what happens most of the cases. Because that child symbolizes an affair. That child is a symbolic of the y'all know what I'm saying. That child will symbolize adultery. That's like the Scarlet Letter. I don't know how many of y'all read that book with the lady who was caught cheating or whatever, or messing around in some type of village. That's an old story, but I remember they made her wear the letter A for committed adultery, and she had to walk around with that shame. Same thing. When you produce a child from a married man, basically that child is going to always resemble your shame and his as well. because that man, or the man already had a family, already had a wife. You was not his wife when you conceived that child. That child won't never get the privileges that his children get, that he conceived with his wife. Those children are going to get the best of Christmases, not only the best of, not only just materialistic wise, but the main thing is they're going to have the advantage of having a full-time father that lives in the home with them, because their mother is married to their father. You, on the other hand, you was not married to this man when you got pregnant from him. So your child is going to get kibbles and bits or whatever crumbs is left in the bottom of the cereal box. And if you are a woman in that situation, only thing you can do is be glad if he's doing anything to help, because he should help, being that he played a part in it. But you really can't place no demands. You really can't tell him what he need to do and how his wife need to accept it and deal with it. It don't go that way, sweetheart. If a woman was already there before you got in the picture, and he was married to that woman, her word and her feelings is going to hold more weight compared to yours. You don't get to decide, well, this my child and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, you're right. Your child that you have from her husband, she don't owe you nothing. And like I said, you have some women who are willing to put aside her feelings for the sake of the child. Either way, it don't make her more of a woman or less of a woman. But you side chicks have the audacity to be demanding and have the audacity to want to be heard. Y'all want main chick privileges. Y'all want y'all child to just come in the family and go on Disney trips, and you don't have no respect for this woman. You want this woman to look at the damage that has been done to her marriage. Every time she sees your child, she sees the damage that has been done. And you shouldn't even be proud of that. If anything, some things we have to bow away from gracefully. You don't have the right to say this is how it's going to go, especially when you was already in the wrong. Only thing you have a right to is child support, because he owes you that. He put it there. Yeah. He don't owe you nothing else because he was already committed. Now, his part, he's definitely, trust and believe, he's dealing with his karma. Because his wife is not going to let up on him if she decides to still stay with his cheating ass. She's not going to let up on him for what he did. Just because you see them in the street and they smiling and looking happy together, that don't mean behind closed doors he hasn't had to console her every time this woman cried, every time this woman lashed out. But he's dealing with his karma like you got to deal with yours. He got the answer to it. We all got the answer to it. You answer to the poor choices you made, and you got to live with it. But I know this video is going on. I'm going over time again. I don't like my videos too long because a lot of people have a short attention span. But I'm gonna leave it at this. We're gonna talk more about these booby trap babies. I'm gonna discuss this on my next series, because it's a lot of these side chicks out here that's getting knocked up by these married men, and you married men, I hold y'all accountable as well, because y'all know good damn well y'all lay down with these chicks in the raw, they not going down without a fight. You know they're gonna bring drama and trouble to your household and your marriage. You know this. But at the end of the day, they're not going to suffer near as much as these women who are having these babies from them, because every time you look at that child is going to remind you of him, and the fact that you can never really have him be a part of your child's life. And for that, you really don't get to call the shots in it. You just don't. He had already belonged to somebody before you took your promiscuous or gullible self behind. Because we already know men are natural hunters. I'm not condoning their behavior, because they just as wrong as all outdoors. But women, there's too many ways for us to protect ourselves. So if you're pregnant and you're a single mom, you chose that. And I'm not knocking all single mothers. Some mothers are single. Some women are single because it was not their fault. Some women lost their husbands through death. Some women men lied to them and made them seem like they didn't have anybody. It's different factors. You know your situation. You could lie to yourself and lie to other people, but you know if you caused yourself to be in the position you were in. So if you want to lie to yourself, that's fine. But like I said, this content does not apply for everybody. Everybody's not a single mother because she was just negligent and selfish and was messing with somebody else's husband. Some women are single mothers because of things that has happened beyond their control. And so I want to make sure I state that. If it does not apply, you don't have to reply. Let it fly. You know what category you belong in. Okay? So, on that note, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up, y'all. I'm going to have to do a part 3 because I definitely went over this evening today. And we're going to talk more about this. We're going to talk about these booby trap babies. We're going to talk about these appetizers who are up here procreating with married men, and these married men that are being dumb enough to allow themselves to get caught up in the heat of passion and allowing lust to overrule their common sense. But we'll hold out for another time. Leave your comment. Let me know what y'all think about this. Guys, why do you think men allow themselves to get in this situation to where they're so gullible? And women, what do you think we could do as women to avoid getting ourselves in this situation? Or are you a woman who's experienced this? Have you had a child from a married man and you want to share with us, to other women to avoid getting in that situation? Or you a woman that's married and your husband did to you? And I understand these things are very touchy. They're very touchy. It's very delicate. Nobody likes to talk about these things, so I get it. But I definitely want your comment on this content, on this recipe, okay? So this is your girl Diva Knowledge, Lady Mocha here at Mocha's Cafe de Paris. Remember, I'm going to always pour you a cup of knowledge and break you off with a slice of truth. Y'all have a wonderful day, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out for that part 3. Okay? I'll talk to you then. Be blessed.